Welcome to the Worst Things Ever E3 2018 showcase. Please welcome to the stage President of Xbox, Phil Spencer.
Hello, and to the hundreds of you in the audience and the millions streaming live on Xbox Connect E3 app, welcome to E3. Worst Things Ever boasts over 300 plays in over 2 countries globally. Here at Worst Things Ever, we've always been about the topics. And today, we intend to show you 4 topics and 3 announcements. The first of those announcements is that I am leaving Xbox to become the new CEO of Worst Things Ever. Now, please enjoy this exclusive world premiere topic as I send it over to Zack, Christian, and Eric.
World exclusive topic.
Wow, thank you, Phil, very much for that. We're just gonna get right into the first topic. Welcome to E3.
Wow.
Worst presenter. So do you guys have a pick for this? What's your pick for worst presenter?
Look at all these people.
They're everywhere.
I'm getting stage fright up here.
A little bit, yeah. Me too.
Oh my god. Oh man, I'm nervous, but
We're being kind of bad presenters right now, you guys.
I hate to throw Christian under the bus, but Christian always goes first, so I think he should just go first. I'm too nervous to go first.
You're right. I don't want to break the streak, but I'm so scared. But I'll go first. All right, guys. My topic for this E3 worst presenter is Jamie Kennedy.
Video games, they've been, where are my jokes?
Jamie Kennedy.
That's
a good pick.
So let me take you all back to 2000, I think 7. The Activision press conference. And obviously the Activision press conference is always one of the smaller ones when they do it. But oh man, Jamie Kennedy, there's plenty of videos of this online and you can watch like compilations, but Jamie Kennedy just shows up like trashed. He's so like he's already annoying, but he just shows up a mess. And like he just spends an hour uninterested in the games, calling everyone in the audience a virgin.
I see some virgins in the audience. There are so many virgins in here. Richard Branson is doing this event.
Making like poop jokes.
I did a bunch of programmers walking around with hard-ons.
Like, it's really, really bad. Or great, depending on what you're looking for.
Did he ever? Like, obviously I've seen the conference a long time ago, but since then I've only ever looked at the highlights and like, yeah, it's always the bad stuff. But during that conference, did he ever talk about like the games in there? Or,
he never like. I think he was probably instructed to just be like tongue in cheek, like, what about this guy? Like the presenters, like the people he brought out did all the game talk, and he just sort of like poo-pooed on all of it.
So he was like just comedic relief, I guess.
Sort of like a Joel McHale type.
Jesus.
But yeah, like it was bad.
Was he actually there? Because I remember in E3 where a presenter was just like on a screen. I think that might have been Tobuscus, but I wasn't sure if it was Jamie Kennedy.
But Jamie Kennedy was the host of the entire thing. He hosted the entire.
Like he was actually there.
Yeah, he hosted the entire. There. He was physically there, sweaty, eyes closed. It's bad.
Well, he had just filmed The Mask 2, so that was.
Who could forget?
Gotten done doing that. Son of the Mask. That's right.
Is Son of the Mask sort of like a play on words, like son of a bitch, kind of like? Was that the joke they were going?
I think so. It seems like the humor for that type of movie.
Anyways, yeah. So Jamie Kennedy, he should have gone up there with the mask on. That would have been good.
Oh, you know what? He should have. If he just went out there and he was just like smoking, and now Call of Duty.
That would have been good. They don't even have an Activision press conference anymore. I wonder if he was the. I wonder if he was the reason they don't do it anymore.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it because it was really hard to watch. Like a lot of presenters at E3 are like just nervous, like I am currently, because in front of these thousands of influencers. But like there are a lot
got
of
the digital influencers,
a lot of nervous people,
yeah.
a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. But shouts out, hey, I see you out there. But Jamie Kennedy, he really knocked it out of the park with laziness and inappropriateness.
Well, we were actually going to have iJustine host this presentation, but she had to flake out last minute. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate turn of events. But she's out there in the audience, so hi, Justine. How's it going?
Hi, Justine.
Hi, Justine.
Hi. That was Hi, Justine. A little bit of a play on words. So my pick, I'm going to go next, if Eric has no objections.
No, you can go.
My pick is gonna be, it's gonna be Mr. Caffeine.
Hey, want to come over and play my Wii? We should connect. And thanks to the Sony Move, here, hold my Joy Wand. Yes, I'm not afraid of a few dick jokes, thank you.
Before we started, Eric poo-pooed it a little bit, but I
That's a classic.
I think Mr. Caffeine.
Mr. Caffeine's a classic.
He's a classic, but he's a classic because he's bad, right? Like, none of his jokes land at all. They're all...
Depends on what you consider a joke.
They were dated for the time that press conference happened, and now it's been like what, 10 years since that fucking press conference, and it's still dated.
And this absolutely epic fail right here. Yikes! Yeah.
10? I feel like it wasn't that long ago.
Well, let's look it up. Let's check. Let's do...
I want to say it was
so fresh in my mind.
2011, so it's been 7 years.
Okay.
Man.
That's close enough. Anyways, Mr. Caffeine, he was... His little bit where he would copy the Wayne's World, like, flashback thing, where he'd go, doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is rough. That's really rough to watch, you know?
Let's go back in time, shall we? Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Although, I wish this could have all started when we all had a Commodore 64. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Everyone do it with me. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. I said everyone go, doodaloo.
So, he's my pick, because I just... At least with Jamie Kennedy, like, Jamie Kennedy's not funny, but I don't know. I think that it was a better idea to get an actual comedian versus this guy who's, like, making jokes constantly, but none of them are landing. Like, I don't think there's a single joke during that entire Mr. Caffeine press conference that lands. So, yeah, that's my pick. It's Mr. Caffeine. And, like, I don't like Aisha Tyler either. Like, when she did it's 420 up in this bitch.
Hella fucking smoky. Apparently it's 420 in this bitch.
She's like, but...
I feel like she tried.
She has a passion for the games, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she showed up to do the work.
Mr. Caffeine feels like they got a guy off Craigslist, right?
Right.
It's also weird because I feel like a lot of the jokes were written by, like, French people.
Yeah, because it's a very French company.
Is. Yeah, and I feel like those jokes maybe might have played a little bit better in, I don't know, like France or something like that. But it felt like somebody writing jokes for an audience that didn't understand Americans. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was maybe that was all Mr. Caffeine. Maybe he came up with all those jokes and all those bits. But he's just an alien that tried to convince us he was a human. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of like a Men in Black 2 situation.
Kind of like that, basically. Yeah. Well, Men in Black 3 is the best of the trilogy.
I liked Men in Black 3. People didn't give it a chance.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Eric,
you people out there, let me hear you tweet me my your favorite Men in Black movies.
Let's get a round of applause for Men in Black 3, huh? Let's get a round of applause.
Woo! Josh Brolin. All right, everyone, settle down.
Yeah, you're getting too rowdy up in here.
Mm-hmm. Eric, what's your pick for worst presenter at E3?
Yeah. I'm going to go a little off color with this one. It's not going to be your traditional kind of presenter, but I definitely think it's worth mentioning somewhere along the way. If I didn't mention it now, it probably would have been brought up during a later segment of one of our topics. But anyway, what I'm picking for this one is I'm choosing the Connectimals children as a worst presenter.
You're my good Skittles. Yes, you are. You want it on your back? Yeah, you like that. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Oh my
E3.
God.
Skittles! Just because... Yeah, Skittles! Come here, Skittles! Just because
Skittles,
it's
stop
like...
it! That tickles! Skittles! Skittles!
Tickles.
That's a spot-on impression, you know?
It hurt to watch, and it hurt to remember.
It is.
That's my favorite bit ever at E3.
Well,
so.
I'm choosing it as the worst because I feel like at E3, you know, it's a very industry event. You know, it's an event mostly for kind of like, you know, older people. Like kids don't really sit around the TV and watch E3 presentations. Maybe they do now with all these streaming apps, but back during the time and day that like that bit aired, it definitely was more of a thing that like only really older people were into, and like only older people really even attend the thing. It's not really like a convention open to the public where people bring their kids and stuff. And I just thought it was so strange that like they were basically pitching like their new piece of technology and having like children play with it. It's sort of like was this supposed to be for parents? Like I don't understand like how a majority of the intended audience for E3 is supposed to get excited about like children playing with digital animals. It definitely kind of felt like a complete like sharp left turn in regards to like this is the wrong demographic of like what you want to be showing to get people excited for this piece of technology right now.
Well, honestly, like we don't have a topic that really covers this, and I kept trying to think of a way to like bring it up, but Microsoft's showing of any Kinect stuff was probably the worst like way to present a product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
most of them are bad, but Connectables I picked just because it's like, okay, you're literally saying this is for kids. Like no one.
It was on another level.
Yeah, like
nobody there.
Yeah,
really cared.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could think of plenty of bits where it's like, okay, this is very stupid, but at least you're showing adults doing it, so at least the adults can have a good idea of, like, okay, I'm watching adults do this stupid thing, so now I know how stupid I will look if I play this game, and now I know if I want it or not. But, like, I feel like the Connectimals just takes it one step below that, where it's like, now we're not even going to, like, fuck with that. It's just, hey, this is for kids. Look at kids playing this. If you're not a kid,
that was a dark time.
It was so strange.
I feel like we need to give.
I just wanted to bring this
Zach.
up because, thank you, Christian. I just wanted to bring this up because
generous.
I don't think we're going to be able to fit it into this showcase at another point. But you ever wonder what the bottom of an Avatar shoe looks like? Well, bam, there it is.
Oh God, that was bad.
You ever wonder what the bottom of an Avatar shoe looks like? Well, bam. There it is.
That whole few years of just like motion controls and Connect was, oh man, everything that came out of that was so bad.
Mm-hmm. I bought a Connect too, and I still thought it was bad.
Yeah.
I never bought Connectimals though.
Oh, but you bought Disneyland Connect probably.
I don't know if I own that one or not. I mostly bought it for Star Wars Connect because there's a lot of Tusken Raider stuff in that.
Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Solo. You know what? That game gets a bad rap for good reasons. But there are some fun modes in that. Like you can play a Rancor and like destroy towns and shit, and that's pretty cool. The dance thing is not, maybe, but. Anyways, yeah, I can see an argument to be made for the Connect girl, and she's definitely a bad presenter. But what I'd say is maybe, you know, it's just a little girl, so are we gonna like dunk on this little girl so much, or
right? at the end of the day, this topic is about like presenter capabilities, and it's not. And she necessarily didn't do a bad job. I'm more so dunking on the people who like set this up and showed
Decided that this would be a good idea. Yeah.
People in suits thought this was a good idea, and it would sell connects.
Yeah. So that's more so what I'm dunking on. So I mean, like I'm throwing it out there, but I wouldn't defend it too much at all if you guys didn't want to choose that as like our worst presenter for the podcast.
Screw her. Screw that kid.
Christian wants to. Fuck that shit.
I don't like the Connectimals kid, but I would feel better picking either Jamie Kennedy or Mr. Caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I mean, Christian, how do you feel about Mr. Caffeine versus Jamie Kennedy?
Listen, Mr. Caffeine, they paid this guy $100 and said, "Go, come be funny."
That's what you think? It's only $100
for him? For him, probably.
I don't know, man. He had a lot of energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mr. Caffeine. They paid him $100. They got him off. They went to UCB on a Thursday night and said, "Who wants to be on TV?"
TV, not even TV, really.
Jamie Kennedy was at this point very famous and hired to run the entire show, pretty much, to send it from one segment to another. And he just showed up like, not only was he unfunny and unorganized, but he showed up trashed. I feel like that's got to be the worst.
Where I stand on this is like, okay, they're kind of in the same ballpark of like two guys who didn't really fit, didn't really feel like they should be there, and they both had bad jokes and bad bits. But at least one of them like made an attempt at points to like talk about the games and act hyped up and interested in the games, where Jamie Kennedy just didn't. Like Christian said it, like Jamie Kennedy was more of a sideshow for jokes, and like he just didn't give a shit about the games and like what the point of the show was. Or at least Mr. Caffeine, maybe he legitimately wasn't, but he was like that substitute teacher who tried too hard to be hyped up about like the topics he was teaching the kids. Like he was like, "Look, kids, today we're gonna talk about social studies." Ooh, he's like, okay, it's like, you're doing the job.
That's exactly what Mr. Caffeine is, right?
Right.
What I was gonna say was like maybe we could even like view it from a cost standpoint, right? Like. Because they probably, they probably paid Jamie Kennedy like a good couple grand
$200
to go do that.
Oh,
$2,000
to go do that. Yeah,
I like how Christian just has all the numbers ready.
Yeah, T said $200. Yeah, they paid him $200 versus Mr. Caffeine, who only got paid $100. So,
we're just,
they're about. I would say they're about on equal footing, maybe. But Mr. Caffeine, he was less expensive, so that might be his value is already less. But when you hire a celebrity, you expect to get what you paid for, and instead, you got Mr. Caffeine again. So I'm fine locking in Jamie Kennedy if we want to go that way.
Yeah, that's the way
I think that's where we got to go.
Okay.
I think that's where we got to take this.
Well, Jamie Kennedy it is. Lock it in. All right. Well, as we move all 300 of you into the next theater to present our next topic, we need to get some stuff out of the way. This was, we just wanted to start off the show with a bang. So there's going to be a little bit of an intermission now while we shuffle you all out of the theater. But thank you for coming to E3. My name's Zack Weiss, number one Tuscan fan, and the bottom of an Avatar shoe. I'm joined by Christian Herrera.
Yep, that's me, and I played Skittles in that Connect presentation.
And Eric Bayer.
What's up? My name is Ravi the drummer.
God, Ravi the drummer.
So yeah, welcome to E3. I wanted to start off, now that we're in intermission, I'm sorry this is going to be a little bit of time while we move you into the next theater, but we had some polls this week, and I wanted to do, a couple of announcements. We have a couple of announcements. We already learned that Phil Spencer will be taking over as CEO of The Worst Things Ever. He's going to be managing the Twitter
Hey, good for
account.
him, honestly.
Yeah, it's really a step up from what he was doing.
Kind of a parallel.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably equal footing, but he's more passionate about that. So we had a couple of polls this week, but the first one I wanted to go over with you guys was so we had a poll for the episode last week, and the questions were: worst Muppet, worst chain restaurant, worst sweet treat, worst fictional dad. And so for worst Muppet, we had picked Clifford, and I'm happy to report that Clifford is tied with my pick, which was New Zealand.
What?
So they both got 2 votes. New Zealand and Clifford, they're on equal footing.
Where did Miss Piggy land on this?
Miss Piggy got 1 vote. And then we had our good friend Kevin. He voted other, and he said Janice was his least favorite. So, I don't know if I can disagree with that. Janice, I don't like the way Janice speaks. And then also she doesn't have any eyes. It's always weird. Oh, hello, I'm a band member.
Yeah.
I'm Janice. And then, so for worst chain restaurant, let's look at the results there. Applebee's and Hooters tied. This is a very contentious worst things ever poll results. Applebee's and Hooters tied for 3 votes. Chili got 1 vote. And Kevin also said, Kevin votes for all of these. He always puts his little input in, but I'm happy to read it. He said, on the border is the Chipotle of sit-down chain restaurants.
Oh, come on.
I can agree with that.
I like on the border.
I don't even know.
I can agree with it. I can see where he's coming from. But Hooters was our pick, and Hooters is tied for Applebee's.
Yeah.
I think Hooters should be the winner.
It was contentious on the episode that we recorded last time.
Yeah, it was really close. And then for worst sweet treat, Eric got vindicated on this one because 3 votes for grocery store Christmas cookie tray. So basically, people agreed with Eric. Jell-O. There was 1 vote for Jell-O, but then 1 vote for Jell-O with Cool Whip, so I'm gonna count that as 2 votes for Jell-O.
Yeah, that's you guys. That one was Zach and one was Christian.
Actually, well, yeah. Then 1 vote for Candy Apple, and Kevin said this, and I don't agree with Kevin at all. Kevin, fuck you for saying this. You said any variation of chocolate donuts. What?
Oh yeah, what the hell was? I read that too.
Get
and
out of
like,
here, Kevin.
I was
now
like,
looking for trouble.
Did he like hit enter before like he wrote the rest of this? Like, did he mean like chocolate
donuts with
that
something?
Are stale or something? Yeah, like I was like chocolate that's it. You just don't like chocolate donuts? What the fuck is going on here?
What the fuck is your fucking problem?
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Yeah, basically. And then this one isn't loading. Oh, wait, there we go. Here we go. This one was also another vindication for Eric, which, what the fuck?
Shit.
What's going on? 5 votes for Gendo Ikari for worst dad, worst fictional dad.
Hey, we got a lot of anime listeners. That's awesome.
I guess so, and only 2 votes for Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I thought we brought up a lot of good points about Ego.
That was another one that was pretty close on the episode itself. Gendo and
Goku
that's
land
true.
on this.
Goku didn't get a single goddamn vote. So.
Oh my god.
Kevin brought up Walter White, and that's a good one. But he was always like, I don't know, he's always good to his family. So I don't know if I.
Yeah, you know, I'm
watching.
I'm watching through Breaking Bad for the first time ever right now, and
oh, nice.
I'm only on season 2, so obviously I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But I'm definitely, you know, when we were talking about Gendo, Ikari, and Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, we were talking about like some next level
galaxy-ending shit. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's like we were talking, just like the scale of what those characters do is so high and so massive and so shitty. It's like I don't know how Walter White in Breaking Bad, which is a very kind of, you know, set in a realistic world kind of show, is gonna top that. Like I've never heard an ounce of like this thing gets supernatural or anything like that. So I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a spoiler here. At no point does Walter White kill all of his children. You know,
Okay,
he doesn't
good.
have a pile of skulls beneath his house.
I mean,
where he's murdered all of his children. So
I definitely get the feeling that like this guy's going off the rails and he's going to do like worse and worse things. And yeah, I assume more people are going to die and stuff like that. But I just don't see how like we're going to get to that colossal scale that like Evangelion or Guardians of the Galaxy gets to in regards to like, oh my God, this is insanely, incredibly shitty with how many people died. Millions of people died. I don't know. But we'll see, but I doubt it.
Right. So yeah, that was the poll results. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But we actually had another poll this week.
Oh, did we?
Because Christian,
I think I like this one.
He had a flashback last week that we did. I forgot to ask you guys if you guys had any flashbacks, but he did a flashback this week that was what it was, the worst French fry, and we had voted on that episode, crinkle cut fries. And so I put a poll on Twitter, 23 votes. Are crinkle cut fries still the worst kind of fry? And
come on.
61% no. 61% no. So that means this is an announcement.
This is a first.
That means I'm not sure exactly when, but Garrett Hunter is going to be coming back to discuss once and for all what is the worst type of fry. We haven't discussed exactly when this is going to happen, but he's coming back, and we're gonna nail down what the worst French fry is on a future episode. So get ready for that. That was a big E3 announcement.
Oh wow!
And then I would also like to make
tonight.
And it's no, yeah, I'm gonna invite him into the Skype call right now. No. We have one more announcement that I'd like to make. And I haven't floated this by you guys yet, so this is gonna be like when Todd Howard announced Starfield at E3. This is gonna be a future thing that we're doing. I'd like to announce Worst Things Ever Battle Royale. So what we're gonna do is on a future episode, we're gonna decide what the worst thing ever because every episode we decide what's the worst thing ever of the 4 topics that we do, right? We're going to decide what's the worst thing ever out of all of those. The Battle Royale craze is super popular right now, so we have to decide what's the worst thing of all of those, and then we're going to have a continuing list. Every couple months, we're going to do another Battle Royale to decide who's the actual worst thing out of all of those choices, right?
I think.
So I thought that might be
I think
good.
what would be really funny would be to make that like a year-end special. Like we take literally all the picks from the entire year and just talk about all of those picks against each other.
That would be great. That'd be great. I think that's what we're gonna end up having to do for our 1-year anniversary special. Get ready for that. Worst Things Ever Battle Royale. You heard it here first.
Mark your calendars.
Just like PUBG, just like Fortnite.
Yeah, we're getting in on it.
I think they're getting ready to get started here. Finally, they finally
Everyone's
moved
taking
into
their
the
seats.
into the next theater.
Wait, no, hold on. I just went outside for a second and I found this homeless man with a banjo and I just paid him $5 to play on stage while we're still
really?
setting people up.
Well, he's actually playing right now. So.
Thank God.
What the fuck?
I just didn't want to make sure we oh, there he is. Thank you.
This is beautiful.
Wait, it's
oh
not
wow.
done yet.
Oh my God.
This is bringing a tear to my eye.
This really sets the mood for the next segment. Oh man.
This is a little dance version of it.
Oh man.
There's a little bit of a dance beat there, huh?
Oh my God, the audience is getting up.
Oh, they're all dancing.
They're moving their feet. They're moving their feet.
Okay, that's it. That's it for the dancing. That was a great.
All right, everyone, take your seats.
What a wonderful
Wow.
performance.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
That was just so great.
I only have $1 on me. Do either of you guys have like $2 or $3 to chip in for the homeless?
We need to
Sorry, I
pay
don't have
this
any
guy.
cash.
We need to get him. Oh shit. Well, we have another homeless guy coming. Christian.
Oh my god.
What the?
He's gonna present during the next thing.
Where do you guys
He's
get all
gonna-
these people?
Yeah. Do you want a second to go to the
Just
ATM?
off the street.
I'll just get him something from the vending machine.
We have to go to an ATM. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Well, we have 2 homeless people who are both gonna be playing separate songs.
And they want money.
Yeah, what are we supposed to do?
Make them deal with each other. Bump fight.
That's a good. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Just break a pool cue in half and let them have at it. Okay, great. So, the next topic. Who wants to go ahead and present this one? Because
Topic number 2.
This is going to be a big announcement. Topic
You guys
number
know
2.
I always go
Eric,
first.
I'm going to throw it right on over to you.
Oh, yeah, thanks, sir. You know, Christian sort of broke the ice with the first topic, so yeah, I don't mind presenting this topic. I'm no longer a nervous speaker. I'm a hero now. I'm the hero of public speaking right now.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
And so therefore, to the audience right now, I will present to all of you topic number 2 for the Worst Things Ever E3 special. And that topic is worst leak ever.
Wow.
That's my topic.
Incredible.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. Very exciting.
This is a very, very exciting topic to announce it here at E3. This is, E3 happened like a week and a half ago, but that's fine. It's great. This is a great topic to do.
It's
who has
our
a pick
E3.
for this? Yeah, it's our E3. E3 is still going on if you believe in it. Who's got a pick for this?
And you know what? Just like gamers, I know that listeners don't like too much change. Like they like, games are very classic. They're a very fundamental part of culture. You shouldn't change them too much. Don't fuck with the formula. And because, hey, Christian always goes first, I think Christian should once again go first because we don't want to upset the gamers. We want to do everything the right way. We want to make them
the
happy.
fans at home.
Yeah, Christian always goes first, so it's time for him to keep doing that. Here at Worst Things Ever, we're devoted to the gamers. That's our number one goal is the gamers and the gamers' enjoyment. And so, if you don't like an ending to a video game, just let us know. Do an online petition and we'll change the ending.
Yeah, we'll change.
Game.
Yeah,
we will change it.
We'll patch in new cutscenes.
Well, you know what? If you don't like a topic, we'll change the topic and we'll just let us know. Email us worstthingspodcast@gmail.com, and we're just gonna re-record the entire topic.
Yeah,
we'll patch in.
Take down the old one, delete it.
I'm here to make people happy.
Christian, go on ahead. You can.
As always, I will go first. Boys, the worst leak, this year's worst leak of E3 history, to me, let me close your eyes and think of a time where the Nintendo Switch was a beautiful young system, and so many things were on the horizon. So many great experiences. Mario has already shown his face a few times on this console. And one thing that would have been great to see at E3, you get Mario. He's running around. He's got his signature red hat. And
all of a sudden he sees Tom Nook.
Tom Nook. Nope. You zoom in on that red hat. You zoom out. Who's wearing the red hat? Oh, why? It's a lovable rabbit. That's right, guys. The rabbit.
Oh, hey, yeah.
So when that would have been great, but what we got instead was a leak, which for those of you unfamiliar, they leaked out like this PowerPoint presentation that was basically the pitch for the game. And instead of getting a wonderful minute-long trailer of Mario running around with rabbits, what a crossover. Ubisoft making a Mario game. It's beautiful. Look at this. I love XCOM. Instead of that, we got a PowerPoint that was like, Mario uses guns. Hell yeah. Or Peach. She's a bad bitch now. Check it out.
She's got a fucking
Especially
camera.
Rabbit
She's taking a
Peach.
selfie. Ooh.
Don't fuck with Rabbit Peach.
I fuck with Rabbit Peach.
Ooh.
What the hell?
Yeah, man. So we got we basically were all the world was introduced to this game in just a weird like.
It was strange. It was a very strange slow roll of like leaks that started getting like more and more legitimacy to them.
I thought it was a fake game when it first got leaked. But,
yeah, I mean everyone kind of did, but then it just like more stuff kept coming out of the pipe, and it was like, okay, I guess this is a thing.
It was also weird because that E3, like, there was a lot of leaks, and after that leak happened, I think a lot of people were like, well, I guess all the other leaks are gonna happen too then, right? But no, like, a lot of those actually didn't. Like, people were like, oh, we're definitely gonna get Pokemon Stars for the Nintendo Switch at this E3. Like,
that'll never
about
happen.
The same level as the Rabbids thing.
Yeah.
But no, that never happened and is not even close to happening, so...
Right. And on top of the Rabbids thing too, Ubisoft's presentation for Mario vs. Rabbids was legitimately awesome. Like that's I think one of the best presentations Ubisoft has ever given for a new game of theirs. Like literally just showing the trailer where it's just these two things crossing over, and then bam, you have Miyamoto rushing the stage with the Mario gun and the other Ubisoft guy. They're standing back to back. Everyone's taking pictures. Like imagine like still being in that moment of like taking in the fact that holy shit, this is a legitimate game that's happening.
Cut to the crowd and the Ubisoft guys in tears.
Yeah, the guy was crying too. Like all that, like it was awesome. Like passion presentation, but it so much of the gusto of it was definitely taken away by just the fact of like, oh yeah, here it is. There's that. There's the Mario and Rabbids thing. So yeah, it was like I definitely I wasn't even thinking about that when I was considering choices for this topic. But yeah, that was definitely a big weird one, and I would have loved if that was was kept a surprise for that E3 because that E3 presentation was
that one was definitely a bummer because like it was a great. I agree with you. It was a great presentation of and then Miyamoto coming out. That was really well done. But it was like, well, I kind of knew this was coming. Huh. Here's the thing. If they had just come out with, hey, we're doing Mario and Rabbids and nobody had any idea, that would have been amazing. Like, what?
Right. Totally. Exactly.
I would have been very confused, but it wasn't, that one also wasn't a leak where it was like Pokemon Stars, which is an example I brought up earlier, because that one we saw an actual picture. Like, we saw art of it. Before E3 as a leak. So that one was definitely like, okay, this is basically confirmed, right?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, like Rabbids is awesome, but just in terms of that whole thing. But the one thing I will say is that like I think the leaks that I don't know if they did the full scale of that game justice, where just hearing it like Mario and Rabbids was crossing over, I think we just kind of expected like a very small time little thing like most of the other Rabbids games, and then it ended up being this much bigger thing. So there still was a little bit of like a wow, it's really going to be this big like RTS kind of game, huh? But then it ended up got leaked, so some of the impact was taken away.
Well,
anyway,
my pick, I'm gonna go a different direction, unless you want to go, Eric.
I wouldn't mind going. I've got one.
Well, you can go next.
I've got one hot on the brain that I really want to get out of the way. My pick, just plain and simple. This one's gonna be a fast one, I think. Is gonna be Star Fox Zero getting leaked was definitely one of the more disappointing ones for me. Yeah, because when most people, when it comes to E3 predictions or what do you want to see this E3, most people, always throw out like kind of the same stuff, but everyone's got their one thing. Like, oh, I want F-Zero, I want new Metroid, I want Mother 3, and it's definitely like, yep. Those are all things Nintendo hasn't touched in a while, and it'll be awesome and cool. I'm talking like past tense now because obviously we're kind of getting like new Metroid and a couple of other things, but but for me,
Animal
like why
Crossing
one
was
kind
my
of
thing this year.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Fucking
people do want
it's been
Animal
forever
Crossing.
since an Animal Crossing game, which I'm not gonna complain about it because like I saw a lot of people online being like, where was Animal Crossing? Where was it? But like they don't have to announce an Animal Crossing game. Maybe there won't be one for a while, but it was like people expected it to be there and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Even though they had no reason to expect that,
Right. Other than just the fact that it's like their big Nintendo IP, and it's like, okay, like when are we getting the one for this system? But yeah, I guess it's gonna come later. I mean, the Switch still has many years ahead of it. Like, hey, I think Nintendo has realized like we don't want to phase this thing out too early. You know, people are all about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up coming next year, the year after. Right. I think it definitely will come no matter what, though. But anyway, my pick for Star Fox Zero was mine. So because back to what I was saying is everyone's kind of got their one thing that they really want, that they're a big fan of, and my thing was definitely Star Fox. Year after year, I was kind of like, Star Fox is awesome, and I think there's still so much more you could do with that. And even if the game ended up being kind of whatever, you know, hit or miss, I still like. Oh man, it was just. I remember like waking up for the Nintendo conference. I woke up like an hour early, and like the first thing I saw, I didn't even check news sites, or I think I did, and I eventually saw it there. But the first thing I saw was just in chats and stuff. I was like, holy shit, Star Fox, Star Fox, Star Fox. And then I go on social media, Star Fox, Star Fox.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't a real thing, right? And then I saw the legitimate leak with the legitimate art, and everyone saying like, you know, oh, this happened, you know, just an hour before the presentation. And it's like,
I forgot that it was just like right before the presentation.
It was, and it was like, I'm about to watch this thing like in an hour. It's like when you're going to see a movie and someone tells you like, you know, blank dies right before you see it. It's like, oh, come on, I was just about to watch it. It was like I was just about to watch it, and like, yeah, sure enough, like the Nintendo presentation starts, and like I think the first trailer of that was like Star Fox Zero, and it's like, yep, there it is. I wish I didn't know about it, but like, hooray, awesome, we're getting it. It just definitely took so much punch away from it. I mean, once again, I was very happy that we still got Star Fox. You know, that was kind of my one thing, and we got it. But it was like, oh my god, this would have been amazing to just, you know, have like the slow space trailer, you know, the slow unveiling of what is this? You know, is this Metroid? Is this else? Is this Mario Galaxy 3? You know, it's in space. What the hell are we looking at? And then boom, it's Star Fox. But
yeah, yeah,
Star Fox. He's a fox in space.
So just because of like the timing was so weird, and because I'm personally just a very big Star Fox fan, that's my personal pick for that one.
I always consider just staying off of Twitter while E3 is going on until like the actual show is happening. Just because of like, you know what, there is something kind of interesting about hearing about a game when the company actually announces it versus like hearing it from some dumb asshole on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to like steer clear of social media and just wait for the news as I watch the broadcast or whatever. But my pick, I kind of misinterpreted this question, but I still think it's valid to maybe think of this. I thought it was worst leak that didn't happen. And my pick is actually from this year, and it's also Star Fox related. There was a leak going around that there was going to be a Star Fox racing game.
Right.
And this was confirmed, like, not confirmed, obviously, but it was like the same amount of people who were talking about this was the same amount of people who were talking about the Rabbids crossover. And I thought it was like for sure gonna happen. It was such a weird concept, but I was like, that's neat. That's really interesting. It was gonna be a Star Fox game, but sort of like reminiscent, I think, of something like F-Zero, where it would just be a racing game in space.
Yeah.
And I've never really played anything quite like that, and I thought that would be a really interesting and good direction to take something like Star Fox. Like maybe it could be like a Diddy Kong racing thing where you're fighting like bosses and stuff like that.
What was cool about the prospect of that idea too was that when it came out, the title of it, I forget what it is by now because leaks just don't really stick in my brain too hard. But like the title of it, I remember people were like, "Wait, what is this? The title sounds so weird. It's like something pricks." And if you go to the end of what was it?
Pre.
Oh, Grand Prix.
Like
yes.
Grand Prix, not like
Grand
pricks,
Prix.
like a group of guys.
Sorry. Excuse my language. Grand Prix. So people were like, what does this name come from? And like whatever the leaked name was actually legitimately came from like the ending cutscene of, I believe it was Star Fox Command on the DS. Like the story mode of that game ended with like Fox and Falco deciding to go make their own like little Grand Prix race competition between all the characters or something like that. So
Interesting.
So it would have been a racing game that the
canon.
idea. Yeah, it would have been a thing where it's like we're taking a piece of the lore and making a new game out of it. Just this like little one-off cutscene from the ending of this little handheld Star Fox game, and we're making a new thing out of it. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, but yeah, obviously then it didn't come to be.
Well, it was just the reason I consider it the worst leak, and the worst leak that didn't happen. It's so hard to search for leaks that didn't happen in previous years. Like I looked up like worst or leaks that never came true on Google to see if I could find anything, and I don't have the best memory in the world, especially when it comes to video games. So this is just one from recent memory that I could come up with, but the reason I pick it is just because like that would have been a really cool announcement for this E3, especially since Nintendo basically had Mario Party to show and they had Smash Bros to show, and then like not a whole lot else, you know. I thought
true, but I mean people like just kind of made that up and put it online, so I don't hold it against Nintendo that they didn't deliver.
Yeah,
on,
no,
like,
I don't
Star Fox
either.
Racers
I don't either.
or
I don't
whatever.
think they needed to show it. I just think it would have been good to have another game. And I was like, well, they've got to show this Star Fox Grand Prix thing, right? Like, what's gonna happen with that? And then yeah, they just didn't end up showing it. And I can't blame Nintendo for that. Like maybe that was never in the cards. Maybe it was just something somebody made up. But
Right.
just the amount of people talking about it was like, this is really similar to the Rabbids thing. It's like the same people who were talking about it were like journalists in the industry who were like, yeah, this is definitely happening. And it might still happen, but like, if it does happen, why didn't you show it at E3? You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of a different direction than your guys' picks. So I don't know where you guys want to go with that. I do like Eric's pick of the Star Fox thing just because it happened literally like an hour before the broadcast, and that sucks.
Yeah, that one, or like I still think Christian made a really great case for the Rabbids, just because it was not just like, because I mean we think of leaks and we think like, okay, someone said this and then it got debunked, but the Rabbids thing was like a slow, it was like almost over like a year and a half, it felt like, was when we first kind of heard someone on 4chan or whatever the fuck say, yeah, this game is happening, and then we saw like leaked images and then official images, and then we like before the E3 conference happened, like days before, we had like HD PowerPoint presentation slides that were like so fucking legitimate looking that it was just like, okay, this is definitely a real thing. Like this would take way too much work. Like who is this dedicated to making all these slides? So
there are people
for me,
that
I go
like
on.
There are people that are like crazy dedicated. Like there was that one guy who actually made a working like
that's a big one. Right.
That was one of them. That wasn't an E3 leak, but the guy that made a working 3D printed NX before that came out, and then was like showing it off, and it was like this oval shape, and everybody was like, "This looks awful," and then of course it didn't end up being like that at all.
Right.
But yeah, like I think maybe we might want to go Rabbids Mario because that one was like, there is not a single chance that this isn't real. This is an actual thing.
Like
the Star Fox thing could have been fake. You know, you never know.
Right. Like as soon as Christian said it, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my god, yeah, that was like an entire like year-long saga of just like various levels of leaks coming out before we basically had like 100% confirmation weeks before E3 even happened. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I think we're feeling pretty strong on that. But Christian, do you have like have any of the other two topics strongly swayed you, or are you still?
No, I think
good?
I'm sticking with Rabbids on this one, boys.
All right.
Because it
all right,
leaks.
Rabbids it is.
Leaks suck, and I agree with both of your leaks. Like they were really hard. Like I would say it sucks that they were leaked and not presented the right way. But like the way Rabbids was presented was just like there was no recovering from it.
Right.
At least in
Sure.
the eyes of everyone that was looking at it.
Definitely.
Right.
I agree.
I agree. I think we can lock it in. So there we go. That's the worst leak at E3. So it doesn't sound like we're gonna move you guys into the next 3 theaters or the next 2 theaters. It sounds like something got screwed up there. So we're just gonna keep you guys here. We're just staying in this one. We had a whole oil rig set up for our Death Stranding topic. But we're not going to have you guys go to that one. You're just going to stay in this one theater. As we present our next topic, Christian, would you like to present our the next topic?
I've been practicing for this moment. Oh man, this is exciting, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the next topic for this Worst Things Ever podcast is worst bit of E3 history.
Bit in E3 history. Now, how do you guys want to go with this? Because I have
it's pretty vague.
I have a part of E3 that's my choice, but it's not like a joke, right? So if you guys want to go more like jokey, we can do that. But I was thinking like just worst.
Mine
part.
isn't really like a joke thing either. Yeah, it's like mine's literally just like a very weird presentation too. Yeah, mine's not really like a jokey thing either.
No, mine
Okay,
also
well,
isn't a jokey thing. So we're all set here.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Well, you know what, Christian, you always go first. Let's just keep that consistent. Christian, what's your
Why stop now?
Or what's
I
your
mean,
pick?
that's
I don't want to
like our
upset the
thing.
fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fans are expecting one thing, and I really don't want to be the guy to take it from them. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my choice for worst bit. I take you now to, man, I didn't do the research. E3, I want to say 2008, maybe?
Okay.
Nintendo is on the height of their Wii success, and with every other company scrambling to come up with crappy motion control gimmicks for their E3 conferences, classy Nintendo takes the stage. They decide, we're not doing gimmicks, we're not doing bits, we're here.
Real name, no gimmicks.
We're here with the Wii. The Wii's been selling like hotcakes. Everyone knows what it does. It's motion controls. You got a nunchuck. You got a what do they call the controller? I forgot already.
The Wii remote.
We got the Wiimote. We got the nunchuck. Hey, one in the left hand, one in the right hand, much like a pair of drumsticks, baby.
All right, going with
Raffy the drummer takes the stage, but he's not alone. No. He's got Shigeru Miyamoto. He's got other suits whose names I don't know.
No,
they're
Miyamoto.
JC from the Treehouse was one of them. I know that guy.
Treehouse guy.
Was Kit Ellis Christy
No,
Yang?
Kid Ellis
Were
was
they up
not. Kid Ellis and Christy Yang were not up there. I just know JC from the Treehouse, and one other dude also is from the Treehouse too, but he's not really that prominent. And then the other lady is like a business lady who's all behind the scenes.
Oh man, she was wearing her pantsuit. She was rocking out.
They probably pulled her up last minute.
It's a real treat to your ears because it's like I forgot what the game was, but it was some game where you could like
Wii Music.
Oh, was
Wii
it
Music?
Wii Music?
Yeah, it was
okay,
Wii Music.
so Wii Music, and then they go up there and they do a beautiful rendition of the Mario Stage 1 song, and it is.
Wait, you guys! I think they're up there again right now.
Oh, we have them?
I see them.
Oh, so beautiful.
Wow, that was great. That was Mario.
God, just
as
like
good as
playing
last time.
Mario Brothers.
It was like Mario Underground theme or something.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
was
Wow,
really
great
good.
job, guys. Thanks. Maybe we'll do this again in 10
Great
years.
job.
But yeah, that's my choice. If you're out there, just look it up or check our Twitter because we will tweet it out the day this podcast goes live from the official account.
Just check it out.
It's
What's a bummer
really,
about that
put
bit
it on your
is that
iTunes.
what's a bummer about that bit is that they could have had, Was Iwata with the company at the time? He was.
Of course. Yeah.
They could have had
Yeah,
Iwata
definitely.
come out with Miyamoto and Reggie, and they all could have been up there playing Wii music. That would have
You
been
think that would have
great.
made it better if you just replaced which adults were playing the
Yes.
Wii instrument?
They could have started a band, Eric. It would have been great.
Because so when I was trying to select bits for this, I chose two things. I went with the other one that wasn't Wii Music, but I was almost very, very closely almost going to go with Wii Music. And Wii Music was just disappointing to me, I think, because it was like, we came out end of 2006, big deal, big hit, awesome stuff. New motion controls were the thing back then. Twilight Princess was awesome. That was great. And then 2007 came, and it was just a rollout of more good games, Mario Galaxy, and then obviously beginning of 2008 we had Smash Brothers Brawl, which is the big thing everyone was waiting for, the follow-up to Melee, the new Smash Brothers. So by the time like beginning of 2008 happened, I feel like the Wii was so hot and doing well, and it was like, okay, what do we have next? It's like, where do we go from Smash Brothers? And then it was like just a couple months after Smash Brothers dropped, it was like, all right, here we go, E3 2008. What does Nintendo have? And this is the days before their Treehouse Live conferences. Now people normally, if Nintendo doesn't do so hot at E3, they kind of go, well, they have the Treehouse now, so they can always make up for it there. Back then it was just E3 and that was it. So it was kind of like,
Did they show Animal Crossing City Folk that E3 too? Because that came out in 2008.
Do you know if it was
That came out November 16th.
I don't remember. They you know what? Maybe they did, because I do remember a big presentation on the Wii Speak that I think was maybe it was either 2008 or 2007, but it was delayed. But I don't know. I forget, but it was just like their big showing for the next big Wii U game was just Wii Music, and it was just you could play instruments with the Wii remotes, and it was like, oh my! It was. I didn't want to believe it at the time, but it definitely kind of spelled the omen of like, okay, all the best stuff for the Wii is already here now, and we're kind of just sort of riding off the motion controls gimmick, and we're not really, we don't have really too many great games left. It definitely was just set this dark omen for the Wii going forward before we eventually got like the 3DS and Wii U. So yeah, that was why I really why the Wii Music just still sours me, is because that was like the landmark of, okay, the golden era of the Wii is done.
They were on top of the world.
Get ready for this shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got to pick two, and since Eric went second last time, I'm gonna go.
Sure.
Yeah. So, one thing about E3 is there's always one company that I just don't ever care about consistently. Like, even if they have games I'm interested in, they do the worst out of all of the companies. They always are they're always the least interesting to me. And that's EA.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
And EA has done plenty of bits that are just go on forever. But the worst has to be for me at E3 2015 when they were doing their FIFA presentation. They brought out Pele. And Pele is a soccer player and an older soccer player. And they brought him out. They had him talk for 15 minutes about his life as a soccer player with nothing to do about the FIFA game. It was just like, yes, I kicked the ball, and I knew a girl once when I kicked the ball. And it was like, this is so tone deaf. What? Like, I don't think most people watching the E3 presentation even care about the sports games for the most part. Like,
that's like half their presentation every year, though.
I know, and this was like, so we're sitting through this, like, just droning on and on about soccer, but then it's got like this bad presenter too, who's like just talking for 15 minutes straight about soccer. It's not, they're not showing any gameplay. They're not talking about the actual game. It's just Pele's face, like, yes, I kicked the ball, and damn, like, that was, what a bad idea for a presentation at E3. They're just gonna cut it with like an interview with Pele. Like, there's so many there's so many times, especially now, where these companies have like buffer rooms. So like before the press conference starts, they talk to somebody, or after the press conference ends, they have like a little thing where they discuss what was shown. Why didn't they do that then? They did it during the actual press conference. They just cut this interview with this sports star in the middle of a press conference. What the hell? I don't know.
Yeah. Awkward.
And like I said, I just don't feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like sports games are ever the reason people go to E3, right? Like, people who play sports games aren't necessarily the same demographic of the people who watch E3 stuff.
Watch E3,
right?
yeah.
Like, people who are going to buy a Madden game every year
it's just
probably aren't.
It's just so that they can write that one article that's like, what's new with FIFA in 2018? That's it. That's the one article that they can write from
I think
the
what
whole
it is really
presentation.
Is, what I think what it is EA always tries to E3 to EA is about their shareholders. It's not about the players. It's always about the shareholders. But even that, like, if I'm a shareholder and I'm seeing just Pele come out on stage talk about sports, but like not the actual game that they're trying to sell, like, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? So that's gonna be my pick. That was very passionate. So Eric, if you want to cool me off with your pick, we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah. My pick for worst bit of E3, it's not so much I would say one singular bit, but more of a series of bits I'm just starting to get really burned down on and really don't think is necessary
Politics,
to do
just
anymore.
Just like the Oscars.
The political talk. Well, actually, my bit ties into the Oscars a little bit because my pick for the worst E3 bit is literally just every fucking Just Dance number that they always do at every Ubisoft conference. I hate that every Ubisoft conference we have to dedicate 5 or 10 minutes to just watching people fucking dance that has nothing to do with video games other to show you that there's a dancing video games where people are going to dance like this and the game's going to make you dance like this. I'm over it.
The worst example of that has to be I have a video of this on my YouTube channel actually.
Right.
But it's I think it was from 2016. It was right after the Paris shooting. Where they did that whole big dance number. They had a giant dancing giraffe dance to what was it? Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And all of these actors and actresses and dancers were dancing along, and then all of a sudden Aisha Tyler came out on stage while the dancers were still in their costumes and while they were all still surrounding her. And she was like, "We're really sorry from all of us at Ubisoft to the people in the Orlando shooting." And it was like while this giant fucking papier-mâché giraffe was standing right next to her.
Right. And that year, I mean, the Orlando thing happened like, the day before E3 started. So it was a kind of thing where it was like, how do you just go on with this event and just kind of act like everything's normal? So I get it. Like everyone was wearing, ribbons and stuff that E3 everyone was saying a little something about the tragedy and whatnot, and hey, the tragedy happened and that's bad, but let's try to make this an uplifting weekend and use this to kind of help heal people who might need it out there, because there's people who see this as a legitimate hobby and want it. So there was a lot of like very thoughtful tributes and whatever you want to call it for Orlando that weekend. I thought that were either very nice or maybe it was like, okay, this kind of felt phoned in, but whatever, at least it wasn't bad. But Ubisoft and Aisha Tyler doing that thing was the one where it was like, guys, you should have thought this through a little harder. Like,
you should have had the dancers walk off stage before you had this serious talk. Like after, it's a big celebration, everybody's dancing. Then she even says it, she's like, I'm gonna take a hard right turn to something serious.
Yeah.
They talk about a shooting.
Like at that point, you should have just altogether canceled the Just Dance bit. Like, I don't care how long everyone worked on it. Like, if you want to do
your just being crazy, come on,
Orlando. Either you do the dance bit or you do the Orlando tribute. You don't do both and crash them into each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, like if you want to do a Just Dance bit, do the Orlando thing first, and then like don't even do the dancing, just show the game, you know?
Yeah. But like I feel like another thing too about the Just Dance bit that makes it so like droning is that they sort of made it their opener, and how it ties to the Oscars, like I was saying earlier, is that this E3 they did it like Oscar style. They had a thing where it was like, you know, just one guy in a mascot suit was dancing down an alley, and he was meeting up with all these mascot characters, and it looked just like one of those fucking Oscar intro videos. Like they clearly made it look just like one of those videos, and it's like, are we really starting with a fucking Oscar intro? These are the Oscar intros. It just made me realize that instant, like the Oscar intros are always so long. How long is this going to go on for? And I was just counting down the minutes until it was fucking over.
What's disappointing
and honestly,
about
you know,
that one too,
yeah,
like the most recent one, is that I was sure that fucking panda was gonna take off its mask and it was gonna be like some celebrity or like a
yeah,
like
why
a
not?
host or something. But it's just like, oh, he just walked off stage. But the way they shot it, it was like, this is setting something up. This guy's going to take off his mask. And it's going to be Aisha Tyler or something like that. Which would have been fantastic. Or it's going to be fucking the guy from Splinter Cell. That would have been great. But yeah, that was a weird one this year, too.
And another reason why it just kind of rubs me wrong is I feel like, you know, E3 had that period of time where just everyone was doing goofy bits, you know, motion control stuff was getting sillier, like around like late 2000s, early 2010s E3s. But I feel like the last couple of years we've really moved on from like goofy stuff. Like it feels like companies are finally kind of getting it of like, hey, you know, cut the crap. I made a big deal of this, but yeah, and I made a big deal of this too. Like even Xbox, the one goofy thing they do every year is they bring the fucking Forza car on stage just to show off. Like, ooh, look guys, look at the fancy car. Don't you want to buy the car game now? I always make fun of that every year. They did it last year, just like they do every year. They did not do it this year. They finally broke the streak. They didn't even bother with the car. They still showed Forza, but they just showed the game and that was it. And that to me was like a big step of like, damn, we really are finally getting away from the goofy stuff, huh? Like we're finally realizing let's just show games. But then here comes Ubisoft with doing like an Oscar Just Dance number, and it was like, no, this is still the one thing that always fucking happens. Like this is the one like sliver of we're gonna be stupid assholes for 5 minutes before we show you games that I just can't get away from. So that's kind of why I'm picking the Just Dance thing as my least favorite E3 bit for the thing.
Well, let's pick one of these. We have what was yours again, Christian? I forgot.
Wii Music.
Jeez Louise.
Wii Music, that's right. We had Wii Music, we had the Pele FIFA thing, and then we have the Just Dance dancing. So what do you guys think is the worst to you? Can you guys sway any way on any of these, or what are you guys thinking?
I'm feeling like the Just Dance, you got to be prepared for it. Like Ubisoft, you got to know that 10 minutes of that presentation is going to be dancing. Go on.
I think if Microsoft could do away with showing off the model car on stage, Ubisoft can finally let go of the Just Dance.
Hey, here's a little information for you, Eric. It'll be back next year. The car and the dance.
And Aisha Tyler.
Oh.
and Aisha Tyler. I think if anything, I'm leaning towards FIFA because even though they always do FIFA, they really knocked it out of the park with awkwardness and like tone deafness. Just they really knocked it out of the park with something that usually is just like a pee break.
Yeah, it's usually just boring, but like this was boring on another level. I felt like, you know. Eric? What do you think?
I was going the complete opposite way. My ranking was definitely, I still feel strongest about Just Dance, but then second was Wii Music, and then third was FIFA. Because with the FIFA thing, it's like I definitely get all of your points of like, yeah, it's like this is boring. It's kind of inappropriate to put in the middle of this press conference, but at the same time, it's sort of that thing where there's a little part of my brain going like, okay, well, I'm not into sports and sports games, so I don't know if this is interesting to someone out there, to like the sports game people out there that are watching this. Maybe they're digging it, maybe they enjoy it, and maybe this is just, you know, their thing that I have to kind of sit tight for a little bit, and I don't mind that. That's fine. But yeah, to me it's like from an outsider's perspective, it seems kind of inappropriate, but I kind of get how if there's a crowd that watches EA for specifically the sports games, and what are they going to do with the next sports game, I kind of see like, okay, maybe this old athlete or whatever talking about this stuff is interesting to them. Fine.
I don't know if there is. I don't know if, like I was saying before, I just don't know if there is a audience for that. Like, I think most people, and I have no way of verifying this, obviously, but I don't know a lot of, like, just sports fans who are, like, into E3. I never see them on message boards or anything after E3. It's always like, why are they showing this FIFA guy? You know? Because I think people who know if they're going to buy a FIFA game already know it, you know?
True. Don't really need to tell them.
And also, I feel like with Wii Music, it sounds more like that presentation was just bad, and not necessarily that Miyamoto banging on the drums with his nunchucks and Wiimote was necessarily, like, a bad thing. Like, if you just consider that as a bit on its own, like, I feel like Nintendo has done way more awkward just singular bits than that thing, right? Like, that's a bad presentation because, oh, here's the big game we have, it's Wii Music, right? But it's not necessarily like him coming out on stage and banging on invisible drums, or whatever Miyamoto was doing. Was he, like, with marimbas or something, or whatever they're called?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, what?
He's got little marimbas.
Like, he had those, I think. But that's maybe not the worst thing in the world. Like, I'd almost say that the Skyward Sword bit was worse than Wii Music, because I don't know if you remember the Skyward Sword bit, but it was a similar thing where Miyamoto came out on stage with a Wiimote and was like, here, check out this new Wii Motion Plus. It had just come out. And Skyward Sword is going to be great with Wii Motion Plus. And he, like, flailed his sword around and, like, nothing was working.
Yeah. That's a bad bit, but, like...
Yeah, I remember that.
It's bad because it didn't go as planned, when it's like, okay, that fucking sucks, but, like, there are so many bad bits that go as planned, but they're just bad, and they were planned to be bad. And, like, I can't, like, give that any leeway, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely been other... I mean, Nintendo's had plenty of, awkward or weird bits. I do agree on that much. And Wii Music was just kind of the pinnacle of them. I mean, obviously, the sequel to the Wii Music bit definitely feels like the Nintendo Land segment.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. What happened then?
Nintendo Land was basically... It was like... so they announced the Wii U in 2000...
I had Nintendo Land, but I don't remember what the presentation was.
It was just like they set up like it looked like a miniature version of, like, It's a Small World or something, like, on their stage, like, just these, like, big plank, like a high school play almost, like cardboard cut out, like, all the different Nintendo Land attractions, and then they brought out all of the different things you can do. It was just them going, yeah, guys, Nintendo Land. It was presented as, like, their one big thing, when it was, like, just kind of gonna be a pack-in for the game, and they didn't really do anything to make it seem like anything crazy. It just kind of seemed like, okay, so yeah, you move from motion control gimmicks to gamepad gimmicks. I guess that's cool. It was just very... it wasn't as embarrassing as Wii Music, but it was just as uneventful as Wii Music, where it was like, this is your big thing, is just Nintendo Land, the pack-in game. Well, it wasn't even a pack-in game, but, like, your like basic-ass launch game. It would be like if they only showed, like, 1-2 Switch for the Nintendo Switch, like, the year that came out, and that was it.
Or Wii Sports or something, yeah.
Right.
Even that one's a better game, I think,
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that they do how big Wii Sports was, and they were like, okay, Nintendo Land is going to be our Wii Sports of the Wii U, and we're going to pimp the hell out of it. And then people were just like, this is okay, this game. Like, you guys should have had something more, but this is okay.
So there it is. I guess the worst bit is going to be Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land takes it.
No, here's the last thing I'm going to say about the Pele FIFA bit, is that your guys' picks are at least kind of attempting to be fun. You know what I'm saying? And the Pele bit is just boring. There's no entertainment value there at all. Even if I was a sports fan, I'd be like, haha, okay, move it along. I want to see this game.
Right.
With Wii Music, they're showing the game. And with Just Dance, like, what else are you gonna show? Like, they don't do enough different with Just Dance every year that like they're gonna actually show a gameplay thing for it. So
I feel like that's a
hey,
thing that should
here's
be on
a
like,
reminder that Just Dance is a thing. You know, I feel like that's what the dance is every year.
Just put it on a reel of like other Ubisoft titles coming this year or whatever in like the middle of the conference. I feel like that's the place for Just Dance.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it a dumb but kind of fun thing that Ubisoft does. It's like, okay, we got to start this press conference with some energy. So here's a bunch of fucking mascots dancing. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but
yeah. Are those mascots? Because they always have the same mascots. I'm beginning to notice. Are those mascots actually even in the game?
I think so.
They've got to be, right?
I think part of the game is like, a lot. I know there's Nintendo characters in Just
only
Dance
for like Nintendo songs.
Yeah, but like I think if you pick like the Gangnam Style, you might see like a panda doing that same dance or something like that.
Oh, it's not Psy?
It might be Psy.
It might be. It probably is Psy, but I know that every song has its own like person you dance as or whatever. So.
Right.
So I think it is those mascots and stuff like that, but I have no way to verify that.
Right.
I don't play the game.
That's a shame.
Let's pick one of these, you guys.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more convinced on FIFA. Christian, where are you standing?
I think FIFA.
Yeah.
I think FIFA really knocks it out of the park with this one.
Yeah.
What do you think, Zach? Are you doubling down on FIFA?
I'm happy going with my pick.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
It sounded like Eric was a little bit.
Yeah, no, you convinced me before that like, you know, it's sort of like boring versus fun. Maybe it's just not like the fun that I really care about or really want in my E3. So, yeah, I'm definitely a little bit more convinced on FIFA now.
Okay, I mean, can we lock it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right,
we will.
Lock it in. Thank you, everybody. You know what? We have one more topic for you guys. One more announcement. Here it is.
I'm not surprised.
You thought it was ending, but it's not over yet.
Nope.
One last surprise. It's the worst E3 2018 announcement. Thank you. Yes, I know it's very exciting.
Oh my God, they're going wild.
Yeah, you know what? And who better to start us off with this announcement than Christian Herrera? He's gone first every other topic. So now it's, you know what, Christian? Let's go.
Wow. Guys, this is really an honor. I didn't know this was going to happen tonight, but boy. So, you know what? You guys it's been a great night. We've learned a lot. We've seen a lot. We've laughed a lot, I think.
Phil Spencer's going to be joining our company, so that's great.
And I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited that he's going to be replacing me on the podcast. I will be leaving.
Yeah.
We'll discuss the details. Well, last episode was like 4 episodes ago. I'm a stand-in right now. I'll say thank you and good night. Here it is, the final topic. Worst E3 2018 announcement.
I already announced it.
All right. So my pick was, so here's a scene that I'd like to set for you, like I've done every time today.
Take us on a walk.
Let me take you on a little walk.
Take us on a little stroll.
The year is 2017. Now you'd think the story starts earlier, but
no, I think it starts in 2018. But go ahead.
Yeah, 18.
Square Enix, with their much anticipated video game Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
We've all been waiting a long time for this game, and it hasn't really been in development since, until 2013. But they came out the gate and they said, "Hey, guess what? 2018 is the year of Kingdom Hearts. That's right, baby. 2018 Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out. We know that it's been a long time. We know that it's been in development for a while, but 2018, mark our words, we are gonna We are doubling down on this. Here's a trailer. Oh my God, look at that. It's Toy Story. Yeah, that's right, baby. 2018, you guys are going to be playing this bad boy. The night before the Square Enix press conference at 1 o'clock in the morning, Square Enix tweets out Kingdom Hearts 3 now releasing January 2019.
Nice.
So they really shot themselves in the foot with this one.
They really shit the bed.
They really did. They were so sure. Like, I get games get delayed, but to be like up until the last minute, like, yeah, that's right, baby, 2018. Just wait till E3. Just wait till see what we got for you. And then before they showed any of their trailers, they just tweeted out a still image that was like, all right, January 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the worst E3 announcement. And I'm going to say there was a lot of deliberation from me, but I feel like there were so many games that I'll give a chance. I'll a lot of these new games, I'll let them show me a little bit more before I judge them too hard. But Kingdom Hearts 3, I've seen everything I need to see. Stop showing me new worlds. Stop showing me story cutscenes. I don't want to see them. I just want the game. And that's all I got to say about that.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I got to pick unless Eric wants to go.
Zach wants to go.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious what Zach's got for this, so I'll let him go.
Well, I want to be clear because this is worst announcement, right? This is not like necessarily worst game that was shown. This is nothing like that.
Sure.
But at the EA press conference, I'm going to throw shade at EA once again.
Damn.
They announced a game. And this might be the worst announcement for a game I've ever seen in my life. So the hostess, I forget her name. I think she's on like Kind of Funny or something like that.
Aisha Tyler.
Anyway, she goes out into the audience and she's like, "Oh, hey, I just saw this guy from Respawn Entertainment. How's it going? Okay. You're working on that Star Wars game, aren't you?" And he's like,
"Oh no."
"Yeah, I sure am working on that Star Wars game." And they have a little bit of a bit back and forth. They're just talking back and forth. And she's like, "Huh, you have anything to show from this Star Wars game?" "Nope, not a thing. But I'd like to announce the name for the Star Wars game is it's Jedi Fallen Order."
Who cares?
Okay, great. Is there anything you can share with us about this game? Well, you're gonna be a Jedi, so you're gonna have a lightsaber.
God.
Huh? Yeah, we will. Great. So anything you can tell the fans? Yeah, it's gonna be in the dark times. I don't know what that means, even so. But what does that mean? Oh, it's gonna be between episode 3 and 4. Okay, great. Well, here's Battlefront 2, which came out a year ago. So the reason I think this is the worst announcement is because all they had to do was show a fucking lightsaber and then have a title come up, right?
Yeah.
That would have been more exciting.
20-second trailer.
Yeah, just a teaser, right? But they can't do that. They instead have this really awkward exchange back and forth between the hostess and like the guy sitting in the audience. It's like she just surprised him.
Oh, he wasn't on
with
stage?
That.
Right. Yeah,
he wasn't on
I
stage.
remember this.
He was in the
Yeah.
audience.
I didn't watch the EA one.
It was like they really wanted to elongate Star Wars fans going, "Woo, that thing," as long as they could. And yeah, to even prove that further, they did the interview in the audience. So I guess you could see the other people around the audience like reacting to the guy go, "And it's going to be between episodes 3 and 4, guys." Like, yeah, that was so awkward. I remember thinking like, why aren't they on the stage? Why is this like the Aisha Tyler let's make a meme video? Like, it was that same kind of like, it was like shot that same way. It was so weird. Yeah,
it was like a jokey thing, and like, you're announcing the title of this game that's coming out in a year. It's not like it's 3 years away or anything like that. It's not like it's Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6. Like, this game's coming out holiday 2019.
Yeah.
You have the title and you're announcing the title now. Why didn't you just like put together a really short like 3D image of the title coming up like 2019, right? it's bizarre.
I don't know if it was Battlefront 2 stuff or if it was for that game, but they also showed like, oh, we're gonna have solo stuff in it. Where like we're gonna put stuff from.
That's Battlefront 2.
Yeah, they showed that, and that was almost gonna be it's not, but it was almost gonna be my pick for this topic because just seeing like all of these brand new characters from a movie that has like such like kind of reaction to it was kind of like weird. Like you're already putting these guys in the game and you haven't even like really like taken the time to gauge if people want this stuff. Of just seeing like Donald Glover and the new Solo guy, it just felt it was one of those moments where I was kind of looking at it and how recent all of this stuff has just happened that it was one of those moments of like realization of like at the end of the day like Star Wars has become just a money-making machine. Like these movies are just made to perpetuate new characters and merchandise and stuff. And it's like it was one of those movies where it felt less about like we're doing more Star Wars stuff for Star Wars fans, and we're just trying to figure out new ways to have Star Wars make money and do new things. But it was just like, we're already doing those characters.
Even that one is not as bad because like the DLC for Battlefront 2 is free. So it's like, okay, we're just showing you that if you have the game already, you get these characters for free, which is fine. You know, I don't own that game.
That's not too bad.
I never bought it out of protest, but they're doing a lot of good things with it now. I heard they're trying to get rid of the microtransactions, which is great. But just the Jedi Fallen Order thing, like... Well, also the presenter, like, he said the Dark Times at first, and she didn't know what that meant, and was like, so when does it take place? He just said the Dark Times.
Yeah.
And he was like, episode 3 and 4. And she was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was just like, this is how you present this new game. This is a new game that you're presenting. This is a new announcement. It's not like, you know, even with the Bethesda thing, like, all they had to do was do the exact same thing Bethesda did, where here's a title and here's some weird cryptic thing, right? Here's a planet and here's a little like space station off of the planet, and then the title comes up. Okay, great. Like I don't know anything about it, but it's a fun announcement. So it's a way to announce your game, you know?
Yeah, so would you say yours is more or less about like what the announcement is itself, and more about like the way it was executed, the announcement?
The way it was executed, yeah. The way the announcement was actually executed. So
all right.
That's gonna be my pick.
Interesting.
What song do you think what song do you think they would have used in this 20-second hypothetical teaser?
Probably just a Star Wars song, right? Like Star Wars never has any sort of trailer with like pop music or something. Like I can't imagine it would be like light 'em up, up, light 'em up, up. That's a song.
Dubstep.
Maybe.
Dubstep. Well, what happened to the era of all game trailers, like half game trailers having dubstep music in there? They're like, there was an era.
Anthem had it. It was like a version of that Muse song. It was dubstep version.
Hey, was it supposed to be funny when Deadpool said he liked dubstep?
What?
Did he say that?
In Deadpool 2 or something?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Oh, you missed it now.
Haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet.
He says, I like dubstep.
Haven't caught it yet.
I saw the first one.
Christian.
Yeah, this is foreign to me.
Well, Eric, what's your pick?
Yeah, so for mine, like I said, it was almost going to be a Star Wars Battlefront thing, but I didn't really have enough knowledge about it. But yeah, like I just didn't really like seeing that they were already shoehorning these characters and these brand new things that people haven't really even gotten acquainted with yet, or even really kind of expressed like, you know, we like this thing yet into that game. But that's off the table. I wasn't picking that. My actual pick comes from the Ubisoft conference. Worst announcement for me, once again, riding the coattails of Star Fox, was that Starlink game.
Just Dance.
No, not Just Dance. Well, like I expect that to be announced every year. I just hate that the bit and how long they take with the bit. But no, it was that Starlink game. And the reason I'm kind of disappointed with that, and I guess this is maybe more of just a personal gripe with it, is that they had such a cool like. They basically redid the Mario Rabbids thing with Miyamoto coming on stage and talking about Star Fox and all that, and it was like sort of this overwhelming, oh my god, this thing's gonna be awesome, maybe I'll play this game. And then the more I kind of looked into it, the more my excitement went down to the point where I didn't even care about the game anymore. So it was like they brought me to a high note, and then I slowly went down. And it was like, okay, so it's going to be Star Fox in this game. And then it was like, okay, well, let me look at what this game is. Okay, so it's going to be another kind of space dogfighting game like Star Fox, except Star Fox is just going to guest star in it. And I was like, okay, that's cool, because this is kind of like a new IP, and they're using Star Fox as a way to kind of get this game in people's hands and, get it out there. I don't mind that. That's cool, and I don't mind more things with Star Fox. Awesome. But then, oh man, when they kind of had this whole bit too where they talked about on like at the actual conference, having to like build the spaceship pieces, and we're gonna sell this big package with like the toy spaceship and everything, and you can use that. And I thought it was like an optional thing, but the more I read, the more I was like, no, this is like your whole kind of gimmick of the game. It's like basically like Star Fox
It's Toys to Life,
Skylanders
but
almost.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So and I was like, wait. So, and not only is it like, okay, you take a figure and put it on the controller, and that's kind of how you get like things in the game. But they're talking about all these little pieces, and if you want to adjust your ship, you're gonna have to attach your ship to the Switch controller, and you take off the cannon and put on another cannon, and there are all these little micro pieces. And I was just kind of so checked out. It was like, no, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't want to be like building models while I'm trying to play a video game. Like, this is so unappealing, and it's so disappointing to me too, because it genuinely looks like a really good game. It genuinely looks like a really good like Star Fox like dogfighting game that could have been good, but they're basing it on these toys that I don't care about. Except I already don't like the toy integration with video games. Like, I don't like the Skylander stuff. I don't really like the Disney Infinity stuff. But the fact that it's just an extra layer of not only you're going to attach the toy to the controller, but you're going to be able to build the toy and attach little pieces. And I'm like, that just sounds annoying as fuck. And now I'm completely turned off. Like, I guess there's a market out there for it. Like, for example, Skylanders is obviously like, hey, in addition to having the video game and the Skylanders, you can get the Skylanders figures, and the figures are like a cool thing to collect in addition to be able to play in the game. And I'm like, hey, that's cool, that's awesome, it's for figure collectors. And I'm like, I guess the Starlink game is for like model builders or something, because who seriously is like excited about sitting there and like building and customizing their own little toy spaceship on top of their fucking Switch controller while they're in the middle of playing a video game? I guess it's just model builders, because it sounds so tedious and uninteresting. And after like Miyamoto's big shout out of like Star Fox is coming and it's this cool game, it was this thing where it was like I was excited for it, and then like that just completely killed it, and the game seems completely like uninteresting to me now. So that was my least favorite announcement of this E3.
What I think was weird about the way they brought Miyamoto up on stage is I think, they wanted to continue that trend from Rabbids, but like, it was odd. It was really weird. Like, Miyamoto was just sitting down and they were like, "Hi, Miyamoto, come backstage. We want to give you something." And he walked on stage and people were cheering, and then he just walked right off stage. He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
It was odd. Like, I don't even know if that was like, if he had planned to do that or if they just surprised him.
It definitely felt like they were going to surprise him, and they thought it would be a cool thing. And that's definitely another thing too, where it's like, I don't think that was a smart move at all, because Miyamoto definitely kind of, I think, has a plan and likes things to go according to that plan. People have, there's those stories you read all the time. If you just Google around for what we were talking about earlier, the Skyward Sword thing, where that didn't work on stage. There's like posts on forums and stuff you could see about like, Nintendo employees writing anonymously like, Miyamoto was not happy when he came backstage. He was definitely like, asking around like, who set this up, who did this. Like, he was very upset. So it's like, oh yeah, that guy, I can imagine like he's showing the next big Zelda game and it fucks up. Like, it's like, who's responsible for this? He definitely wants to talk to that guy. So with the Starlink thing, it was definitely a little awkward that these guys plan like, we're gonna surprise you now and do this part of the thing we didn't plan together. That he must have had this like stomach drop moment for 2 seconds of like, wait, what the fuck are we doing?
I'm actually kind of still interested in the game, like not in a big way or anything, but I think it could be cool. Like being able to change stuff on the fly. I don't hate the announcement. It is a little bit weird though. Like, I think expectations for that were a little bit high just because it was like, oh, Star Fox is in this cool, like, dogfighting thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
cool.
Well,
that's where it started for me.
But then when you start to, like,
when I looked up the game
more,
itself.
it's like, oh, it's more Toys to Life.
I was like just looking at gameplay footage before I knew about the toys, and it was like even like the gameplay footage looked very good. Like even it looked like a very fun game to just play. And then it was like a little later that I started reading the thing like, okay, and how you customize your ship is this, and you need to do this. And it was like, wait, I have to build this little toy, and if I just want to play this cool dogfighting game, it's like no. It was like it dropped out of me like at that second, like okay, no, I don't want this anymore, and that was disappointing.
Yeah, that was a weird announcement. But
yeah.
We got to figure out what's the worst announcement. We have Kingdom Hearts change of release date. We had Jedi Fallen Order, and we had Starlink. So what are you guys feeling passionate about?
I wasn't.
Well, I didn't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Kingdom Hearts thing. I get the initial shock of it, but it didn't really rub me too wrong. Once I started sort of like reading, like it's just being moved to like January of 2019. It was kind of like, okay, so they kind of broke their promise, and that's shitty of the 2018 thing. But it's literally just like 1 month,
a month after.
Yeah. So it was like,
right.
okay.
And I'm not in any rush to play the game. I'm just confused as to and like annoyed about how adamant they were being. Like they were being so, and how sneaky they thought they were being with their reveal. Like when they put it out just as a still image instead of waiting for their conference that was hours away.
Yeah. Let alone
I guess get the bad news out of the way first before it's awkward when you have to talk about it, right?
Well, they didn't even have like a conference where people talked. Like that whole stream was just like a trailer compilation. It was 30 minutes of just non-stop trailers. Yeah.
That was one of the worst, I think, this year of presentations.
Yeah.
So Eric, what do you think about this Jedi Fallen Order thing?
Yeah, no, you make a good point. I completely, that was so early on in E3 that I completely had blanked on it. But yeah, that was pretty bad. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling like weakest on the Kingdom Hearts one. That one was definitely awkward and bad, just in terms of like, yeah, like the announcement itself is not so bad, but the way they did it was like, why the fuck are we sitting in the audience? Why is this happening? But I don't know. I guess it just didn't click with me so much because it was like, I feel like I'm used to like weird little bits like that of E3 of like, oh, let's go to the audience. Like there was one bit that, I mean, this genuinely entertained me, so I remember it. But like when Phil Spencer, they keep cutting back and forth to him throughout the Microsoft conference of him talking about, we love the gamers and we're passionate about the gamers. Sorry, Phil, I know you're doing yes, but
yeah, well, he's gonna be joining our podcast, so don't make fun of him too much.
Yeah, so I was trying to do like a positive impression, but I'm sorry if he takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But there was like one bit where like they're like showing a game trailer and then they cut back to Phil. And he's like just randomly standing in the aisle of like the audience and not even on stage. And they have the camera on him, and like you see like audience members like 3 feet away, like looking up at him. And it's like, is this like Jesus descending to his disciples, like, worship me, I'm bringing you the games? Like, why is he suddenly like much closer to the audience members than he was like during the last presentation? So it was weird and awkward, but it was like funny in that way that it was like they haven't been too intentionally awkward that it's like I can kind of let this slide. And that's kind of how I thought of the Star Wars thing. It was like, this didn't rub me the wrong way. It was just a little awkward, and then it kind of passed.
I don't think it's a bad bit necessarily of having to go out into the audience. I just think that this is the way you're going to announce your game. Like,
sure, yeah, for like
I'm saying,
a new big game.
Yeah, this is a giant game. This is a Star Wars game, right? And the way you announce it is not with like just this trailer that would generate excitement. This is a new Star Wars game. It's like they did it in a way that would be as like not exciting as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I come at it from. But
yeah.
I want to hear what Christian thinks of our two picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think I'm agreeing with Zach on this one because I didn't know. Like that whole thing is bad because last year, if you guys remember, EA came out with Star Wars, or maybe it was the year before. I don't remember. They came out with
Battlefront 2 was that I'm thinking
last year. I'm thinking the year where they showed like like a little sizzle reel that had absolutely no information about any of the things they were working on. And it was just like a guy.
I think that was either
it was like a guy working on his
2016
desktop.
or 2015.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it might have
like,
been 2016. Yeah,
it
it was just like, oh, here's
little-
all of these studios, and they're just in mocap suits. Like,
yeah,
okay,
like
great.
this
shows
guy's
me
got an
nothing.
R2D2 on his desk.
Well, actually, one of those games that they showed is canceled now.
It's
done.
canceled. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's crazy.
so-
Yep. And that much footage, because the game that got canceled, the only footage they had was like a guy walking out of the cantina. Boom, coming soon. They could have done so much less for this new game, and it would have been so much better than what they did do, which I didn't even realize. As you were describing it, I didn't realize the guy was sitting in the audience. Like, it takes so much work to put these shows together, and for them to think, yep, that's a solid 5 minutes of this show. They really,
Yeah,
no one
bad.
stopped them. So I'm gonna
We'll just
I'm
have the
going with
guy
Zack
come out
this
on
one.
stage and be like, Jedi Fallen Order. This is going to be a new game coming 2019. We don't have a lot to show, but we're really excited. So see you guys next E3. Hey, if he did that, that's
Would've
a
been
better
funny.
announcement, right? Well, he needs to be passionate. Like, the dude didn't even seem to care. He was like, yeah, fuck E3. That's the impression I got from him. It was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're really excited to be working on a Star Wars game. Like, what?
Right.
I don't know. So are you guys okay picking Jedi Fallen Order? I mean, that's kind of sounds where it's heading, but
Yeah. If,
Yeah,
if
I think
if you-
we should go with that.
you're strong on it and Christian's strong on it, I'm cool with it.
all right. Well, I guess we can just lock it in then. There we go. Locked in. All right. So we have to pick what's the worst thing ever at E3, you guys. So for worst presenter, we had Jamie Kennedy. For worst leak, we had the Mario and Rabbids, I think, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
For worst bit, we picked the Pele FIFA bit. And then for worst E3 2018 announcement, we picked Jedi Fallen Order. What do you guys think is the worst thing ever? I'm kind of leaning towards like Jamie Kennedy or the Pele FIFA presentation.
I'm leaning towards Jamie Kennedy or the Rabbids thing, because Jamie Kennedy I think is generally the worst, but the Rabbids thing I think I feel a little bit of an impulse toward is because, like we've been saying, the Rabbids thing just lasted such a long period of time that it would just became so annoying that to like once a month to get this update of, hey, this game was leaked and you know it's coming before
Well,
the
I'm
actual
trying to think for the
presentation.
future here a little bit too. I think if we picked Jamie Kennedy, he might be a good contender for the worst things ever battle royale. You know what I'm saying? So if we went with him, you know, we could say the entire life and career of Jamie Kennedy is on the table then. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, evolve it.
Oh, wow. Whole new great.
I just think Jamie Kennedy, you know, he sucks. He's not funny. He was a mess. But I feel like people were like, they moved on because they're like, Jamie Kennedy sucks. So I'm not going to waste my effort. I feel like Nintendo never screws up. Like, you really rarely see Nintendo. You really don't see them leak or slip up on anything. So for this huge thing to come out, I guess it's kind of more Ubisoft's fault because it's really their game. So I guess, but it was just like crazy to think that was like fully leaked, like not even like screenshot over some guy's shoulder, just like the whole PowerPoint. Here you go.
Yeah, that was like when the whole like slideshow presentation was out, it was like, Jesus, who fucked up this badly?
I mean, I'm happy to go Rabbids. It sounds like that's where you guys are more leaning, but
yeah, a bit, yeah. I mean, if we could always have the Rabbids fight together in the worst things ever Infinity War episode. Because we could always battle the Rabbids against whatever else we got on the table.
Yeah, I mean, let's. I think it's fine to say that the Mario Rabbids leak is the worst thing ever. If you guys are down to pick that. So yeah, I guess
I'm
that's
leaning
what
that
it
way.
is, right, Christian?
I think we gotta lock it in. As much as I love
Okay.
rabbits, the worst things ever have decided they're not that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Leaky
All right.
rabbits.
Well, thank you. Our E3 presentation 2018 has now come to an end. Thank you very much for listening. Hey, if you want to follow us at Twitter, we're at Worst Things Cast. If you want to email us, we're worsttthingspodcast@gmail.com. I know a lot of people don't do this usually for their E3 presentation, but let us know what you thought of our presentation. And then I would like to announce one final thing. Mario will be coming to the Worst Things Ever. Actually, no, that's not true.
Oh man.
So thank you for listening. If you want to give us a future topic idea, email us, tweet at us, let us know what it is. If you disagreed with any of our picks, also let us know. My name's Zack Weiss. You can follow me on Twitter at ZackJWeiss.
I'm Christian Herrera. You can follow me on Twitter at DressUpDoggy.
And I'm Eric. You can follow me at Cyberpunk Game. Wait, shit. I think my notes got hacked.
Fuck, shit.
Hold on.
Oh god.
I got fucking hacked. Hold on.
God damn it.
Okay, there it is. Sorry. Fuck. Just like the Microsoft conference, I got hacked there.
We're still
for a
getting
second
hacked.
by,
Oh my god, we're
by,
getting
by
hacked right
Cyberpunk.
now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Now check out this. Wait, hold on. In order to undo the hack, you have to watch a trailer for Cyberpunk. So check out this CG city for a second. You're probably seeing if you're watching the YouTube version of this.
I'm very confused what's going on right now. I don't know what's happening.
We're being hacked. The hacker just messaged me. He said I have to let the trailer run first on the YouTube version in order to undo the hack.
It's still
All right.
going.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. All right. He's letting me off. He's a fan. He says he doesn't want to hold up the show. So, I'm also.
That was a very odd thing for a hacker to do. You know what I'm saying? Like show a video game trailer. But I guess whatever floats his boat.
He said he's a fan. He just wanted to be part of the show.
Okay, good for him.
All right, so.
Well, you'd think he'd like hack his face in or something, but he just shows a video game. What a weirdo.
Yeah, no, I guess he wanted to do homage to the Microsoft conference. So anyway, Cyberpunk Game, do not tweet me at Cyberpunk Game because that's not me. You won't find me there. I don't control that account. I have nothing to do with Cyberpunk Game. But you can find me on Twitter at Ricky Bear. Ricky, like the name, Bear, like the animal. Put them together and you have my real Twitter handle, which is not at Cyberpunk Game.
It might be.
So you heard it here first. Tweeted us, Cyberpunk Game. Oh, fucking.
What the fuck?
Shit. God damn it.
What the fuck?
Thank you very much for listening. Bye. Have a wonderful E3. Woo!
Cyberpunk Game. Oh,
thank you for joining us. At everybody at the Staples Center and the millions watching at home, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We got a lot of fun things in store. Thank you. I guess that's it. All right, well, let's record now because I got to go soon.